Let's start with Penn State, USC. Well, uh, I can't win this bet. Uh, my track record with Penn State at 12%. 12% against the spread. Went back and looked. Uh, Over the past couple of years, trying to bet Penn State. They have consistently either found ways to cover as a favorite or let me down when I backed them as a favorite. I don't know. They're sitting here as around a 4.5 point favorite here. Total 50.5. Man, I mean, when I when I look at this game, Nick Singleton should play. I think he is important. He was really missed last week for Penn State. He provides that explosive rushing element to this offense. They're still not hitting enough explosives. They still go pretty slow. And USC, uh, you know, the problem I have with them and their offense here is, can their offensive line hold up? Can their tackles hold up? And I'm not sure that that's going to be the case. And that could just basically put their offense into the dumpster. So I'm inclined to lean under here. Penn State, very methodical, very slow. Yeah, explosive elements still missing from the offense. And then USC, I just think, is not going to be able to do what it wants to do on offense because of the matchup up front. But once again, I don't know anything when it comes to Penn State games. This is your chance to try to convince me on a side or whatever you're thinking. What do you got here?
Yeah, I took Penn State -3. I think you and I talked about it on Sunday when we were doing the recap pod. Yeah, I thought this thing would rise, and it did. Finally caught some resistance up around 5.5 and 6. Because there's major issues with USC and their offensive line, specifically at both tackle positions. They are inexperienced, they are undersized, and they have no depth. That is a real problem against a Penn State defense that right now is ranked fifth in pass rush. And I get the strength of schedule hasn't been high for Penn State, but I have a lot of faith that Penn State is producing edge rushers that are going to get to quarterbacks. Another problem, Miller Moss came out on fire from a time to throw perspective. How long did it take Miller Moss to get rid of the football? About 2.02 seconds in the first two games. That number has crawled over what the standard is of 2.5. You can't have these kinds of offensive tackles and just pass blocking in general have this be this poor and release the ball over 2.5 seconds. It is a major problem. And if you're going to be a passing offense, you've got to fix this. The numbers are bad when they get into scoring position. Offensively, they're 63rd. If they are not getting explosives, which USC has not been producing any on offense on the ground or through the air, it's going to be a problem. I say all that. I mean, there's resistance on this number. I'm not really sure I would still buy USC. I could buy the fact that Penn State's traveling west. I could buy the fact that they're going to start slow. But at the same time, there's numbers that are coming out of Kotelnicki here. I mean, they have some problems with pass blocking, but it doesn't matter. USC generates no pass rush. They're 83rd in havoc. They can't defend the rush. So, Singleton, if he plays, Katron Allen, they're going to have no problems running the ball whatsoever. USC's.
That's what Minnesota did last week.
Yeah.
Minnesota ran it 40 times for
Yep.
200 yards, and Penn State's backfield is better. Their offensive line, their scheme is better. You have to respect their pass more. And USC, they missed last week? Eric Gentry,
Yeah.
who I think is going to be out for the year. In his place, I think he's their best run defender. It might be their highest rated defender on the season. In his place now, you get who is it? The kid Beavers.
Yeah.
And last week, let me look at how his last week he played.
He's had 49 total snaps this year. So
Yeah, and he played, I think, let's see. Yeah, he played how many snaps did he play last week? 44 snaps last week. And before, this is a guy I think that was slotted to play, strong safety. So this is like a position change for him as well. Not
yeah.
as good of a run defender. So I think Penn State can replicate what Minnesota did with their success on the ground, going slow, which again, I think it lends me to the under here, which I'll probably be on.
Let me say this about Eric Gentry. Because you mentioned it, I just wanted to look it up. The best run defender on this team, it's not even close. PFF grades him 91.8. The next best run defender, corner Greedy Vance at 75.7. The massive drop in run defense here is unbelievable. How many missed tackles so far? 40 this year, none from Eric Gentry. This is bad. I think there could be a case to be made that Penn State starts slow because they're out west. I think there'd be a case to be made that they'll keep it close because they're going to run the ball and have some with that. I don't know how you bet USC. I can't. I make the game 6. I'd still bet it.
All right. You like Penn State. I like the under.
Yep.
Maybe I'll join you.